We've designed this course so that we can learn together how to stay connected and live well with dementia. As well as hearing from experts in dementia and dementia communication, we ask carers to share their experiences with us. We hear from Barbara, who cares for her husband who is diagnosed with vascular dementia, Denise, who has been a carer for a number of family members and who now cares for her mother who has Alzheimer's disease. And we'll meet Leon, whose father has dementia and lives some distance away. Later in the course we'll also hear from Tony and Joy, Dementia Friends champions from the Alzheimer's Society, who talk about their changing relationship, and Barbara, who describes the impact caring has had on her own health. As well as the guidance received from our experts and carers throughout the course, I will be helped by a team of mentors who will contribute to the discussions each week. They will summarise key points and answer questions.
Although the brain isn't supposed to be working and we don't know what they're taking in, we don't know, maybe they can't get back to us and say how they feel, but they'll maybe show it in other ways.
With Jim, what sometimes happens is he'll take a dislike to someone. Now, he was never like that. He was always an easygoing, kind of a guy, coped with anything. But that then becomes an obsession and he doesn't want to have anything to do with that person at all. And that's a difficult thing, because how do I explain that to the person?
Yeah.
And sometimes you've got to be honest with other people, because they'll Jim could sometimes come out with things that you wouldn't normally say.
You could be walking through a shop or something like that when she was able to walk and get out, and you'd be walking along and she's fat. Just whatever was in the mind. Well, children can do the same. So,
yes.
My dad will just stare at people, swear, not know what's going on, get very confused, and she's sort of worried about what the rest of the world's thinking. Now, I think it's getting a bit better, but for quite a long time she sort of felt embarrassed because she didn't know how to cope. And I was saying that the rest of the world have got to understand this, that Dad has a disease.
Mm-hmm.
As you said earlier, if he'd had a broken leg,
people will understand.
You have sympathy.
Mm-hmm.
Someone behaves like that with Alzheimer's or dementia in public and behaves in an unusual way, the world's got to understand and accommodate that, but you get worried about it.
I can't have any deep conversation with my husband because he's not able to function in that way. You can have light conversation about the things that's going on during the day, but he can't have deep conversations about anything that's going on in the world, because he either he can't be bothered with it, and he doesn't want to understand it, or he can't understand it, so he just lets it go. It's the same with watching maybe a movie or a series on the telly. You say, oh, what's this all about? I don't understand why what's happening here. And sometimes it's very difficult. And
my mum got to where I used to have to choose what was on the television so as not for her to get angry, because if there was something like EastEnders, Coronation Street and so on, first of all it started with like the characters who she didn't know, new characters. Well, who's this? Who's that person? Because she couldn't remember them, there were only the very old ones. Then it got to where it was as if they were real people in the house, because if there was an argument going on EastEnders, I'm not having that. She will be, I'm not having that, they can get out,
Last time I saw my mum around Christmas, she'd just bought a new chair for the living room. And we're walking down the street and I was saying, how's the new chair? And she started crying. And what's up? And she said, you're the only person who's asked me about the chair. And she said, and I would have talked to your dad about this, because he sits in the chair, but he's never asked me anything because he doesn't quite understand it. And she says, and I miss that so much, just having a conversation with him about the most inane things.
Yeah.
And And it was really, really touching that something as simple as talking about a chair had such an effect on her.